What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be tackling an age-old question that I get a lot from a lot of people who visit my channel. And that question is, if I had to pick between one of my chest fly machines, whether it be the Pec Deck style or the incline seated fly, what would be my choice? Now, I know that's a loaded question because a lot of you on this channel, if you watch already know what my choice is, which I'll reserve to the end and I'll talk about that. But I really wanted to just sort of dive into both of these pieces really quick, go over why I think you should choose one versus the other, and then we can go from there. So I'm gonna start with the Pec Deck and let's get started. So starting from the Pec Deck, I had this before I had the Incline Fly Machine, so I'm pretty experienced. Obviously with this machine, I've had it for, I guess, maybe multiple years at this point. So the biggest benefit I see of choosing this machine over the Incline Fly Machine is just because, honestly, you have more variations that you can do with it. The arms are adjustable, so you could adjust the stretch that you get. If you start from this rear position, you could hit a fly, rear delt fly. So I have 2 plates loaded on each side right now. It's usually about my starting point when I'm doing the rear flies. There you go. So this machine, I upgraded the pulleys on. You can see, if you saw my other videos, this has aluminum pulleys. The new version of this machine also has aluminum pulleys. So I think that puts it in a better place for me to compare. Although I don't know which pulleys they're using, this one is already upgraded, or I went ahead and bought ones to upgrade. So starting from the fly, obviously we did the reverse fly, and now we can set up the arms to go into a traditional. Now I have 2 plates loaded on each side. What I will say about this machine is that it's a plate eater, okay? You're gonna have to put way more than 2 plates on each side to get the same engagement that you do from the Incline Fly. The Incline Fly right now, I have my starting point that I always keep it loaded as is 140 pounds, but then I go up to like 200 pounds depending on what I'm doing. This machine, I need to have like a minimum of like 4 plates on each side before I really start feeling it. I mean, you can see I'm just kind of cranking it out here. Now, one benefit though, is that you're not stuck to a static position. This is the standard position, and another variation I like to do, is a standing with your back like this, using the top handles to get a different stretch. And you definitely do feel it very differently than the standard seated stretch. So if you have this machine, I'm gonna tell you to try to do this variation. You also can go down and use the lower handles. I actually don't like it as much from that angle, but it does add another variation to the angle. So one thing I wanna say, because when a lot of people ask me about this machine, I have to kind of go a step further to remind them a little. Because it has the cable set up, it doesn't feel as much like a belt-driven stacked Pec Deck that you have in the gym. It kind of has that same tension feeling of using a cable system like a functional trainer, except the arms are on a fixed path, right? So I used my crane hook to measure this machine in the past, and the starting point is ever so slightly heavier than when you get to full extension. So what that means is the start in the stretch, which is a good thing, is gonna have the most weight to it. But to be honest with you, I kind of wish that it was more even for the sake of loading, because you have to load so much weight to get a proper workout, in my opinion. But where this machine excels, obviously, is the benefit of being able to do it seated, standing, and then the reverse pec for your rear delts. They say, or I've seen them talk about using the Incline Fly for a reverse. I don't bother. I mean, to me, that machine's a chest fly machine. We're gonna hop over to it now. All right, so getting over to the Incline Fly machine here. Now, contrary to what people say with the Incline Fly, since the arms are going out in front of you, and I'll show you that, since they're going in front of you, it's not really an upper chest fly. to be upper chest, it would kind of have to be more in line. But regardless of that fact, the stretch, and I don't know if you want to call it mechanical tension or whatever you want to call it with this machine, I may be using that term wrong, but it's the first thing that pops into my head. The other just kind of feels like a cable, whereas this, the tension to me feels constant from the stretch all the way to the top. The strength curve doesn't really change. So, like what I like to do, you make sure you cue your chest up, and you come up, and then you can come down, you see, cue your chest, get that stretch in the pec, and back up again. So that's with 140 pounds. Like I said, I will go up to sometimes as much as 200 pounds if I'm doing a lower rep. And when I say lower rep, I just mean 6 to 8 reps maybe. You know, when I'm getting closer to that 200 pounds after I've overloaded it through a workout program. So I may start lower weight and move my way up. Now, this one is super simple because there isn't much for me to say about this. It just works, right? Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's already a machine that gets a phenomenal stretch. It gets a better, in my opinion, stretch and engagement than the Pec Deck. So that sort of leads us to the next question, and that's which one would I choose and which one do I think you should choose between these two machines? So this brings us to the age-old question. Which would I choose between the Pec Deck or the Incline Chest Fly? I'm torn because I enjoy the Incline Chest Fly so much more, in my opinion, just because I get such a good stretch and workout I feel in my chest when I'm using the Incline Chest Fly. Now, the Pec Deck, on the other hand, if you have limited space and you're looking to get multiple movements into it, because you're gonna be hitting your rear delts, you can you know, change your angles for doing the chest fly, either standing the way I showed you or seated. That adds another dimension that the Incline Chest Fly is not gonna give you. Granted, the Pec Deck, again, like I had mentioned, has more of a cable feel than the Incline Fly does. So these are all things to keep in mind. Now, I have both of these machines, I use them both, but I do find myself using the Incline Fly more. And I know some of you have gotten that machine and, you know, told me how much you did enjoy using it as well. So at the end of the day, you can't go wrong with either machine. If you have the room for the Incline Fly and all you're worried about is just decimating your chest, then go for that machine. If you're looking for something that's gonna sort of be a jack of all trades, give you a couple more movements maybe, and you can't have both, then that's where the Pec Deck's gonna come into play. So I hope this puts the issue to rest. If you guys have questions, drop them in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll have links in the description as well. I'll talk to you later.